Hello. I'm back after being dumb for like 45 minutes last week. So I'm gonna show you my dumb problem, which if anyone was watching at the time, probably could have seen it. But I was going pretty fast, you probably wouldn't have seen it. And then we'll continue on with our whole idea of changing the reticle based on the action. So let's go and take a look. If it will load. All right, give me a second. We'll wait for it. Uh, 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 oh, I have to talk that much to get it to turn on? Oh, that's okay. It's like it's mocking me. Stuck at 35%. Great. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I should have opened it earlier. I hope that's actually working. I mean, yeah, let's do the echo land. Ready? Echo? I guess it doesn't do it. Oh. No, no, it's still at 35. All right. So essentially last week it was super like dumb. Um, Last week my mistake was pretty crummy, and honestly, I shouldn't have made it. I probably would have made it. Mostly it's because it's that whole thing. I hadn't come back. I left it hanging for like a month, and then yeah, I forgot I left something hanging, something else hanging, which made the whole thing not work. So once this loads, one day, one day, we'll take a look at it. Um, oh yeah, let's get our thing open while we're waiting for it. Open a new window. Why not? And we'll get our new window of that. I guess I didn't need that other new window. Go away. That's never a good sign, guys. All right, but we can work without it. So, reticle. We managed to do this part here, which is KMC all the time. No, do it when we hold the modifier, and we had it move it on the modifier, but we didn't actually switch based on the data table. We had a let's make it purple, an intermediate step of, it's a widget switcher. Based on the what is it, the array of character actions. So when it loads, will it load? Well, oh, here we go. This is what we have now. It's trying. Struggling. Why is it struggling? Why is it trying? Because I'm watching it here. Hold on. Shrink it. Nobody needs to know. So the extra thing doing here is setting the action reticle based on the current action index. However, the current action index isn't actually like the different actions you can do. It's the different actions. Wait, it's not the actions that can be taken in like a object by object basis. It's actions that can be done by the player, which are actually pretty specific. You can use the held item and you can combine items in your hand with whatever else is in there. And if we look, and we got that working where we're switching between use what's in your hand and the little handshake, which is combining items. I'm just gonna host, I'm not gonna bother with the other one. I should properly click on the host button instead of whatever the hell I did before. I think I can, yeah. So this is use the current item, even though it is a drink. And that's a thing that doesn't work, but it's for combining items. So I can switch between those two, but it's not actually switching between like what you can do, because it's not actually used. The actions we want to go through isn't held item and combine items. We want to have an icon for use held item, but what's that held item got for an action? Combine items, I think that is a correct icon, but this one here is going to change depending what's on in your hand. So the thing that I screwed up last week, and I'm not gonna dwell on that too much because it's once you see it, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, tutoy. I had left it hanging where I took all the interaction code and put it into a gameplay ability. And then one day this will load. It did load. It just doesn't. It's over here. And then I didn't actually add the interaction ability into actions guests can do. So I wasn't able to interact because I didn't have an action for it. And this is the one I made combine held items with. And so that's going to be the combine action that we're going to have eventually. That was the problem. So it's all fixed. So we're back on track, mostly. So what we want to do then is switch it from being based on an array of character actions and being based on got this. This is we'll put this down here. That's actually further on. We want to go a little bit simpler than that. Baby steps. We want a widget switcher based on either the current character action based on the held item ability of the current held item, and then crossed with the current character action. So there's two things at play: the current held item and the current character action. So we can go, I want a I'm so overpowered for what I want to do. Doesn't this thing come with a, you can tell how much I use half this stuff. No, it doesn't, because that's why I have GIMP on here, because it doesn't actually have anything else I can use for that. All right. I sure did. All right. So as we have it now, we've got our character actions, and there's only two of those right now, and there shouldn't be any more, right? Because we get to set that. And I'm done. I want to just move it around. So we got two character items: use held item, bind item with, and those are what happens when you use the action modifier button. You shouldn't have to use the action modifier button to use things in the environment. The action modifier button is actually not just, it's not character actions, it's specifically actions for the held item, right? Use it or combine it with something else. What the hell is this, guys? I don't think, oh, what the hell? What do you think that is? Is that this guy? No. Am I echoing all over the place? I don't think so. I even have this one is muted. Sorry, folks, give me a second. I just gotta double check what's happening on here. Because no one will believe. Oh, okay, I figured it out, I think. Hold on. If I... Right? That's how they changed it. Sorry, OBS had an update. I'm not 100% sure what it all does. All right. Yeah, so it's well, they changed it to sideways, which confused me, and then they changed it to add this thing so I can monitor, but I'm not monitoring it because then it just kind of echoes into what I'm looking at, which sucks. So that's how it should be. All right, back to what we talked about. So our action modifier button is actually a button for using what's in your hand, right? That's right, I'm going to change this again. Oh, we've come upon a problem, haven't we? And if you're smart, you'll have seen it. Use what's in your hand button. But and I'll crank this because why not? Oh, it's the one spot. So here's our problem. We don't know what hand we're going to use. What? Just what? Oh, it's complaining because I'm on like a text layer. Really? How about it's a layer. There we go. That's all I'm trying to do. And it's ugly because it's black. There we go. Bam. We don't know what hand we're going to use. So, this is why you got to talk these things out. You realize that this doesn't work because if you have a drink in both hands, that's fine. You can say drink. But if you have a gun in one hand and a drink in the other, you can't say drink or gun because you don't know what button you're going to push. You could argue like, okay, well then make it an action, but then we lose that whole like left mouse button, right mouse button, left hand, right hand thing, right? So in the end, I think the answer actually is what we have right now, because that's what we want, isn't it? It's a widget switcher based on actions you can take on a held item, but not specific because you don't know what hand it's going to be. So strangely enough, this might be like the code part might be done. We might need a better icon for it. Let's go see why that icon isn't working first, and then like we'll mark it off. Does that sounds like a good idea, right? Okay, we've got action drink. Oh, it's not in here because I screwed up the thing. Threat drink reticle. I did some Git shenanigans trying to figure out what I had done wrong. So that's probably what it is. All right, let's see. Sorry. I gotta go find the thing. It's in here. Don't make it more complicated. All right. Click on import. Cancel. No, cancel. It's already in here. It just hasn't seen it yet. How would I get it to see it? Let's try this. Let's try this crazy thing called goggle. It's already there. It just has to see it and actually do something about it. Loading and saving. Re-import directories to monitor. Let's do that and see if it like magically goes to find it. Auto re-import. Well then. Oh, it's re-import because it hasn't seen this yet. All right. What if I cut it? This is gonna be so dumb. I put it like in here, and I cut it. I put it right back. There we go. And then if I go into the content browser, content browser, there it is. And then I go back out here, and the guest HUD, sorry, not the guest HUD, the reticle. We've got this guy. Oh yeah, I didn't do it as like a I didn't do it as like a thing. I better save this before I use it. So for this one, I made it a widget, which would make sense if I was going to do like animations or something. But this one, but I just have a picture right now, so I'm just going to grab this. So I've got set. Sorry. So right now I've got that widget, but the other one I've got as just an image. So I should be able to, please, I should be able to just grab it, and then you'll see it goes in here, file and save. I don't need to for this because it's not, we're not doing anything as far as like, this will be faster. So if we get our picture up there, we can switch between use and combine. So we just need a better icon for use at some point, and that should be the solution. And when we do that, so right now when we are doing that, for debugging, we hooked it up to changing what action you're going to do, right? Because the idea originally was that this was actually going to go into like the item that you're holding, but that like that doesn't actually make sense because we don't know what hand we're going to use. So I think where it is right now is perfect. All right, so let's make sure we know what's going on. All right, so I couldn't interact with things because I moved the interact code out of the character and into a gameplay ability, which made sense at the time. But what that did is that I needed to add it to the character when the game started, along with the other abilities like picking up, using items, etc. I actually had to like make sure I had that ability set, and I hadn't because I left it hanging before I left. By the way, I was away. And then when I came back to it, I was confused. But adding it here and adding our new combine item action and saying we can switch between these two, good stuff. And I think, just in case, I'm gonna load that guy up so you can see it indeed does everything that we did before, except be obnoxious. Thank you. You don't need this. Delete. So this looks exactly like the old one. Target cast hand, and this is done. I think this is done on the server. It should be done on the server. And then we made another one, combine held item with. And it does very similar where it's like, okay, what's in my hand kind of stuff. And then do the combine with the other one. Do I have an end ability on this one? No, I'm an idiot because I'm dumb. There we go. So I personally, except for like the UI, which I think I've got basics I haven't solved, murder UI. Yeah. I'm gonna add it over here. Better reticle action icons. we'll put that there, and then I will say that we are done this part. Reticle is on this side now. And I'm just gonna delete these because we did it. It's done. I'm gonna forget that I did it. I'm gonna forget how I did it, so I'm gonna keep that one around. But I don't need this kind of thought process here. Save. Before I forget how it works. Or close this window accidentally. Let's see, we've got this, I got this. I'm just kind of seeing what's down here. What makes more sense? So this is us talking about it. And decide against it. So this is just discussing it, so we don't need that anymore. See, that's the future. We're not there yet. Different main actions. This is done. This is done, guys. This is done. No. I was hoping the emoji button from Windows 11 worked in the next minute. It does not, but that's okay. So different main actions is kind of done, right? So give me a second. I gotta know. Right? Control period. All right, let's see if that works. Doesn't seem to do anything. Oh. Seriously, I'm willing to do this. I want to check this off and say that it's done. So let's go through all of that. Browse, emoji, pockets of emoji. Which one do you think we should get? 1100 downloads, or I have to click on it up there. What's this guy got? Emoji buckets. It looks like it's the same, only like all right, never mind. Well, I just have to live with it. We'll have to do it the old-fashioned way, the super lame old-fashioned way, which is Dunzo. Move everything over here, because now it's just a feature with stuff in it. All right, we did what's next? Remote control actors. We did this. These are just kind of things to do. House infrastructure. These are all house infrastructure, aren't they? Right? Power the phone, which we haven't done that part yet. As far as like that comes over here with like the clues, I think. Or is it part of solve murder? We can make a phone. That does nothing. Trap items. I'm not so sure on that right now. Let's see. Physics items interacting via projectiles, particles, physics objects, locking them. We can do any of these. I don't know which one to do. I'm kind of like, where do I go? What do I see? house infrastructure. Well, why don't we okay. Should I make a power system, lights that respond to this don't respond to the switch unless all master switches are on, or even not even lights, but like items that don't respond to a switch, or we look into items interacting via projectiles or particles. I'm kind of leaning towards this because it's like me once again avoiding making something concrete. You know what? Today, let's do something concrete. Let's work on power. That's right. I'm gonna freaking keep myself from screwing it up again. That's all stuff I touched since last time. The other thing I was doing while you weren't here was into pickups replication, because it doesn't replicate, and we know that. I've put it off for a while. I'm going to put it off some more to do our power. All right, so let's go down to the things. We've got our things. Light switch remote. We know how to do remote things because we did it here. Do we have a fancy thing for that, or do we just like? Yeah, we just have it as a variable somewhere else. All right. Let's I'm gonna make a folder. I'm immediately going to delete it. Yeah, we'll be back. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna add another folder. This folder, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna hate this. I already hate it, but I've done it. The reason I've done that is because I'm gonna make this a thing. That I can use properly. Okay, let's got this guy, basic usable item. Picked up, let's go. If it picks up. This is not a pickupable item. I don't know why we go in here. Whatever. Interact server, pickup, collision enabled, collision disabled. All right. And then the pick upable thing, does it look exactly the same? No. Our ugly lamp. All right. We're getting a little bit off track. Let's do. Start add blueprint class. Gonna be an actor. We're gonna call this trying to find a good yeah, I think that's it. Dependent. Oh, I need the thing. I'm gonna yeah, all right. I was gonna add usable and pick upable to it, but I realized like if it's not a thing, like our thing system assumes you can at least interact with it. Everything else is gonna be like a static mesh. Who cares? All right, I'm gonna ignore that for now. Variables. What we want to do is we're class settings. So this guy is going to be interactable. Event interact. Easy peasy. So this thing is dependent on something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a thing called drink it. Make a new thing. Actor called BP nope. No, we're not gonna do it that way. We're gonna yeah. We're gonna make it an interface. We'll steal the one from, what's the simplest one? These are all function interfaces, right? Usable, use, remote controlled, remote interact, pick upable, pick up. Oh, that's got more shit. Void, picked up. Oh, there's still functions. this also is a function. Clue. Clue's more complicated. I think we'll just copy this one. Copy both of these. And then paste. We'll rename them. And we're specifically going to say thing dependency. What are you doing, dude? I'm trying to work here. All right. So first thing we'll do, go up here and we'll go rename it all to thing depends. Why can't this fucking thing? You know what I mean? All I needed to do is thing dependency and replace. And then this is also hop back into here, and then the interface is not this, it's going to be nope. I've already complicated it, guys. I've already complicated it. Let's do a rename on this guy. What is it? It's got a state that we can look at, right? So excuse me, I think we could probably do, we don't need that. We're gonna ignore that exists. We're gonna go back into here. It's an actor, which means we could probably look at a thing that's on an actor, right? What do actors have? And that's going to be a set, I think. Right? Because we want to have, it'd be mean to have like 3 actors. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Instance editable. Expose on spawn. Not private. I think that's all we need right now. Default value depends on the file. Perfect. All right. So what we want to do is, before we interact, dependencies. Oh, we're gonna add another one down here. Dependency. Dependent on all, and this is going to be a bool. I don't know why he's yelling at me for this. Compile. Depending on all, we're going to set it to false. All right, so we've got all the dependencies. We're going to, I don't know what you do with a set. Has, for each, find, should I just make it like an array so I can work with it? No, let's I know we could just make it an array so we can work with it because we already know how it works, but set is the proper thing, right? Because like you can only have one. If I add like a thing into it accidentally, huh. I don't know what that is. It's not what I'm looking at. Add clear. Okay. For each intersection is empty, is not empty. Last index. Thanks. Make set. Remove to array union. Okay. Very simple. I think we'll just have to do a for each on it, right? Let's do the for each because we know what that is. So, for each. There we go. We go into here. For each. We might have to, give me a second. I'm gonna sneak these into a function. And the name of the function is dependency check. So when we try and interact with this, we're going to do a dependency check, and then we're going to do the actual interaction. In the dependency check, we'll have a local variable, which is okay. So if dependent on all is true, then if any of these are set to not be active, then we can't activate. If it's set to false, then we can have, the moment you find one, anyone set to true, you can activate. So you're going to do a reverse. So the moment you find one that's false, if it's true, the moment you find one that's false, you kick out with a false. You find one that's, if dependent on all is false, the moment you find one that's true, you kick out and return false again. True? True. Sorry. So we've got this guy here. I'm gonna set it something, I guess. I don't know. We might not actually need this. Hold on. Let's try this. If it's dependent on everything, on all of them. Oh, we can do this. So if it's dependent on all of them, value, and we're gonna, it's an actor, so we're gonna get tags. That's the start. Actually, before we do, yeah, get tags, and then find item. And it's just a text, and here's a name, right? It's a name. So I could just type in thing dependency. What do I get on the other side? It's not like I'm curious about the output. Come on, guys. Oh, it's an array, right? Array item. So no, that's not what I wanted to do. If this is greater than 0 or greater than -1, before I do that, is there an exists? Has? Do I need to Google this too? Yes, of course. Why not? Because that seems to add unique, clear. Add unique, it's in your fucking. Okay. Find item, get a coffee, get a ref, identical, insert, is empty, is not empty, is valid, last length, make, random, remove, resize, reverse, shuffle, just be using arrays, I just got all the stuff I want, sort, except for find. How do I do a find? All right. So that is how you have to do it. Great. All right. I'm gonna delete this while I'm here. I'm gonna delete this. It's just got so much stuff, guys. Just make it an array, right? Make it an array. There we go. Dependencies. Get. For each. With break. I don't think it's I think it has a break, right? For each with break, right? Because we want to be able to break out of it. great. Oh, UEFN. Loop. Was it just in like here that where I like had already find for no? Oh, guys, what is this? Microsoft Docs. Look at the one for map, and maybe it's giving me a clue. Of course, it doesn't. All right. Google, you better be better than the actual makers of the engine. I want a YouTube. I want a. Just tell me. Just tell me what it does. Just tell me how. Show it's words. Oh my god, it's C++. I know how to do it in C++. Oh my god, what's happening? All right. I'm gonna try. That looks like it has a thing. All right. So we have a thing dependency. If that exists, then we continue. Otherwise, I'm gonna do the other one. All right. So first, does it have this tag that I'm gonna add to shit? Thing dependency. And if it doesn't have that tag, we don't care about it at all. Shouldn't even be in here. I don't know why it's in here. Okay, that's all. Otherwise, actually, I don't know why I wrote that. I've gotten so confused about all this. If thing dependency, okay. That's what we'll do. If it's okay, I'll say okay. If it's not okay, then it's not okay. And then Sorry, I'm trying to think it through. Tags replicate, right? Tags replicate, right? Tags replicate, right? No. Okay. More. Tell me more. I'm not doing it. Okay. Fine. 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 Here's a question. Do actors have actor has tag? That's a normal tag, not gameplay tag. Ooh. Rough. That's ability system. I'm trying not to do ability system for the things, right? Guys, I'm gonna end up doing something in C++ anyway, right? So I might as well, right? I'm gonna be doing something in here anyway, so I might as well just make it a bool, right? Like what else makes sense? So let's call this wait. I'm having thoughts. If you yeah, all right. I'm gonna call this activate. All right, the opposite. This able. Disableable. disableable. All right, and the CPP will also have disableable. Disableable. I feel like I should put the extra bowl there. I will put the extra bowl there. Only thing that really makes sense in this world. Disableable bowl. Bowl. There we go. And then the interface down here is going to be uProperty. Can't believe after all that, I'm back into here doing frickin' C++ for this, because the answer is add a thing. The only thing that you can guarantee that you can add a thing, well, you have to add a thing, but then you do it through an interface, so you have an interface anyway, so you're back here, so you might as well just make it like something. uProperty, blueprint, read, write. Oh, and it's on Mac. It's all in caps because I read, write, and then we're gonna make this. Instead of making a bool, I'm thinking of making it an int, and then we'll say if it's like less than or equal to 0, then it's disabled, and if it's more than 0, it's something. So int, we're going to say int I'm kind of thinking, do we want to make it do its own work for that? Okay. So and then we can do a this can be that, and then we'll make this can I make a read-only property? Give me a second. What I want to do is kind of like make that a getter. So like we can do Unreal Engine C++, and then kind of like a read-only getter blueprints. That's gonna give me anything. You know what? Why complicate life? Why complicate life? Just why complicate it, guys? Why make this hard on yourselves? You know what I mean? Just like right? Disabled, and then all you do is you oops, wrong one. Don't complicate stuff, guys. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, but it's in an interface. It's not going to do the same thing every time. Right? Because you want it to do different default functionality. Well, okay. They're not pure virtual. Okay, I haven't done that before, but I'll give it a shot. Do I need... Sorry, I have to remember how these things work. I don't need to put the callable on here. I just have to put it over there. Yeah, disableable. So I just have to put disableable. And then this is going to be disabled, and it has no other things. And it's just got this, and then we're going to say return ableness more than, sorry, can I do that? Can I do myself? Return this dot ableness. Whoops. Ableness is more than 0. Disabled. Wait. If it's disabled, it's going to be less than or equal to 0, right? And if it's able, it'll have more. Let's add a little bit more functionality for fun. While we're here. I don't know, man. Because essentially what I'm saying is like you want to be able to break something and then it'll be broken. At what point is it completely broken? But then it just has health. But actors don't have health inherently. Pawns do. But I don't want it to be a pawn. Do I want it to be a pawn? No, a pawn is controlled. I think what we actually need to do is say, I hate to say it, we want to do this. And then for this, so yeah, it just has health. And that's how we'll do it. And then we'll go over here and we hope that I know enough C++ to have not screwed that up. I'm going to complain about something, I know it. I'm just going to delete these because I know it's going to complain about them if I don't. All right. Our favorite button. Scariest button in the game. So scary this time, it's not doing anything. There you go. Here it goes. I don't know why my computer's so slow today. What I do, I played Death Stranding the other day. That's probably it. It's the Norman Reedus is still running around in my RAM. I'll just let that sit there for a bit. So while that does something, I'm going to do something really dumb. Unreal Engine. Yes, I know that part. Okay. Actors, base class for anything spawn a level. Actor components, static objects or entities that require player control. Doors, lights, environmental objects, pawn is specialized. All right. So adding health to a actor isn't crazy unless there's already health on an actor. I don't think it has. Yeah, it doesn't have one by default, so we need to make it. Which is what we're doing with this code. Hopefully, oh, I missed it. I'll push it again, and since it's already done, it should be like faster this time. All right, so we do need to add our own health, so I'm not completely crazy. Compile failed, great. New property. It may only appear in class or struct scopes. Really? Oh no. Okay. All right. We need something to be a thing, to exhibit a thing. I'm okay with that. I'm actually okay with that. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. We'll get rid of that. We'll say that disableable. We'll just delete this again. You're gonna have to say what you're doing every time, but then you would do that at the class level, aka the blueprint level, later, right? All we need to do is have a unified way to ask, is this disabled or not? But not in like a gameplay object enabled disabled, but as in a game system enabled disabled. And then for individual things, we can do things like, oh, if it's just a switch, right? If it's a switch in the basement for like the power, it's the breaker. You don't need to have health for that. You just need to be a switch on off. You can just say bool and return on off as the disabled function. If it's something that can be destroyed, maybe the same breaker, you can say it also has health. So if it's also being damaged, then it will also return. So that gives us more flexibility in how we do it. Hey, great. Let's hop back into here. So now that we've done that, we can say that these dependencies are not actors, but they are disableable. Oh. Oh, wait, yeah, they would be actors. Because then what you do is, it's going to be an actor. You're going to ask if they are disabled as a message. Target is disableable. Doesn't return anything. Why not? Because it's void. Okay, cool. There we go. I don't know. What is this? IntelliSense parsing open files. It's like half of Unreal Engine isn't here. I don't want it to fucking parse open files. Yeah, I didn't hear it make the you broke sound, so let's go back in here. I think this will be, I do this now. Disabled message. There we go. Return value. All right. So, let's see. Check. I'll put this up here. You can see it. For each loop with break, we're going to say if it's dependent on all. Hold on. Make another thing. If it's we've got dependent on all, little truth table to get my mind. Ooh, red. I'm fine with it. And is disabled. I don't know why they even let me do that. Grab that little thing. So our little truth table says, if it's dependent on all, let's make it green. Green. Dependent on all. Oh, guys, dependent on all, and it's disabled. We return such that I went to right, there we go. False. We break out and return false. If it's dependent on all and it's not disabled, we continue with true. And the next two are going to be, we're not dependent on all, so we can keep going, right? So it's not dependent on all and it's disabled, then we continue. If it's not dependent on all and it's not disabled, so it's active, and this should be an X, and it's active, then we immediately break out with a checkbox. or in our case, we're saying we break out. So we actually have, on edit, undo. Oh, there's 2 strokes in an X. This should be an X. So it's false. But we don't care. We only care when we break out. This one, we break out on this instance. And we break out on, it's all disabled. Disabled and is enabled. It's not dependent on all undisabled. Okay. We'll break out on this instance. So it's actually a 3-dimensional. No, it's actually a, is it a 3-dimensional truth table? Because this is going to be another value we're testing on. So what we need to do is if is to say if we're dependent on everything, all right, and it's disabled. I'm going to move this up here so it looks right. If we're dependent on it, all of them, and it's disabled, that gives you a value. If it's dependent on, I think we might have to do if on this first. Doesn't make sense. If it's dependent on all and it's disabled, then this is true, and we break out. If it's dependent on if, you have to put if in there. That's why you need a, so it's dependent. If this situation is true, we break out. I still can't, I don't believe it's at the bottom like that. Like, guys, working here. If it's false, then what we want to know is, so one of these 2 is false. Which one is it? So we end up having to do a 2-step for it anyway. So let's do it as a 2-step. So first, do an if, right? If we're dependent on all of them, you just connect into there. That's all I need you to do. If we're dependent on all of them being enabled, then we'll check if that's true. Otherwise, we'll check if the other one's true. So up here, it's going to be array element disabled message, because that's going to be the message. Goes in there, and it's a message, so we have to run it through there. And if that is true, we have a local variable called okay. And we're going to say we don't have to do an if, right? Because we're returning a Boolean. If dependent on all is true and target value is true, then this is false, which means that this is actually not that, right? Ooh, but there's a catch. It's not that simple. We actually have to do an if, because if this is true, then yes, it's true that we have to set okay to true. And then we break. Otherwise, we don't break, we continue looping. And then the same happens down here. If it's false, if dependent on all is false, we have to check. So it's not dependent on all. If it's disabled, so this would be true, that is actually okay. If it's enabled, then it's false, and that's when we immediately kick out, setting okay to true, or false. And then this one sets it to true. Because we know one of them, at least one of them is working, so we can kick out right away. Otherwise, we'll keep looping. And the last thing we do oops, that's not what I meant to do. I want to why isn't this doing what I want? Because it's the function needs an output, which is so when we complete, we return okay. Whew, I think that does what we do. I don't know if I want to test it right now. My brain, that kind of fried my brain for some reason. I'm sure, yeah, it kind of fried my brain. So what I'll do is I'll leave that. Maybe I'll figure out the test later when my mind is okay. But this is a good start to it. So this is the start of item that don't respond to switch unless master switches are on. So that we decided it was going to be done through a interface disableable. And that's what we just did today. And then we'll come back and we will try and set something up like this. So what we'll have to do is this thing is checking disabled on all the dependencies. So we'll make a dependency for it to depend on. And then probably what you end up doing is I'll make another select all delete. Probably what you end up doing is you have a bunch of switches here, and then just a random object that represents the system, and then like breakers, multiple breakers, something like wires, whatever. And then these are all dependent on this guy, and this is dependent on all these things. And so you don't have to set all these to be dependent on all these. You're just dependent on this like middle object in the middle, and you just like stick it in outer space where nobody can get to it. All right, I think that's good for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.